I see patients all the time that come in with bags of supplements. There are a lot of supplements being advertised out, and the question is, what do you really need? When to supplement and when not to supplement. Most people are just picking stuff off the shelf, hearing about it from a friend, taking it because they think it's quote unquote good. Things come out as a fad. And all of a sudden everybody wants to take what's the latest hot item on the supplement list. And that's a lot of money and it's a lot of pills in the gut. So you really should ask the question, what am I doing this for? Am I deficient? Do I have a particular health challenge that could be benefited by this? And can I find a clinician that I can talk to who could walk me through this in an evidence-based way? I see a lot of patients come to me seeking, quote unquote, I want an alternative to my statin, or I want an alternative for some of the health challenge that they're having. And the reality is this: in Western medicine, we're trained in a model that is the ill to the pill. You tell me you're ill and I can give you a pill. If you're depressed, I have a pill. If you're hypertensive, I have a pill. If you're diabetic, I have a pill. But on the other side, there's the sick to the supplement. If you're hypertensive, I have a supplement. If you're depressed, I have a supplement. We have to come somewhere in between. And really the first thing we should be thinking about is proper lifestyle change, starting with nutrition, starting with taking in the right micronutrients, getting a good night's sleep, making sure we're staying physically active, transforming how we respond to stress and tension. And then we could start layering things like supplements on top of that. In a previous video, we talked about how micronutrient deficiencies can be harmful to your health. We can now do blood and urine tests, which tell us if you're deficient. So for example, if you have vitamin D deficiency, or B vitamin deficiency, or mineral deficiency, we can then personalize the nutraceuticals for you as an individual. When someone is deficient in their vitamins, in their minerals, the first question I ask is it coming from the diet? Are they just simply not eating something? Like, for example, a vegetarian is not getting animal protein, so they may be deficient in certain B vitamins like B12, but maybe more than just vitamin B12. Other people may have a gut issue where they're literally not absorbing their nutrients. So if we think it's related to the gut and absorption, we're going to look at the microbiome. If it's related to the nutrition program, we're going to see how we can fix that with proper nutrition, and we may need to supplement in both cases. We also use nutraceuticals therapeutically. What do I mean by that? I'm a cardiologist, so there are certain things I'm going to use supplements specifically for, like anti-inflammatories, lowering cholesterol, lowering homocysteine. I mean, there's some real reasons that as a cardiologist, I will be using a supplement or many supplements. The reality is this is not a replacement for your medications. You need to talk to your clinician to see, is it okay to change your medicine or stop a medicine or even to add a supplement to a medication, because some medications and supplements could have interactions. Supplements, herbs, and pharmaceutical therapy can interact. So for example, we know that there are certain pharmaceutical therapies that actually can lower glutathione in someone's system or can lower vitamin B12. We need to know what those are so we can supplement to make up for those potential deficiencies. But at the same time, you can take a pharmaceutical and an herb, for example, and you can mix them together and you can end up with a not so pleasant interaction. So let me give you a perfect example. We all love St. John's wort. St. John's wort is an excellent product for depression. But if somebody's on a lot of pharmaceutical therapy, St. John's wort tends to interact with a lot of medication. For example, birth control pills. If you're on birth control pills and you take St. John's wort, it might lower the effect of the birth control pill and you can see someone get pregnant. If you have a heart transplant, which may sound extreme, but we have a lot of people with heart transplants and are on medications to prevent transplant rejection, well, St. John's wort can interfere with those medications, and we have seen heart transplant rejection in that situation. So knowing what you're taking, knowing how it interacts with your potential medication, knowing if there are any side effects, and find a clinician that understands this world, like an integrative medicine trained doctor who really lives in both worlds, as comfortable with pharmaceuticals as they are with nutraceuticals. These are all really important. Supplements are not a free ride.